Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Pursuit News. I'm Maya. We have Angelique and Sandy with us. And we thought today we would discuss a topic that everybody loves, angels. I was surprised to learn that there were 8 or 9 realms of angels and all different types. And I mean, I know a few, but, and like our angel, our guardian angel, is that an alien? Is it a ghost? Right. So, Sandy, do you want to begin? And when somebody says angel, what is the most common one that people are referring to?
Sure. So there are 9 orders of angels, and they're divided into 3 different groupings. So the one that's closest to our realm, to our plane, is called angel, just angel. Um, and that's the one I think that we're most familiar with. They are really the closest to the material world and humanity themselves. They are, these are the 9 choirs of angels, and so the angel is on the lowest end, the lowest choir, I should say it that way. And truly, it's referred to as choir because they all communicate with voice in a singing voice. That is a very unique experience. Um, Most of the angels that are on the lowest choir usually then go on and graduate into the other second and third realm. The first realm itself, so if you're at the bottom, let's say it that way, meaning here's our planet, here's the first realm, right? It goes from angel to then archangel, and everybody knows the archangels, all 15 of them. Everybody knows who they are. And then the third in the first category are the principalities, and they're really governed with keeping peace and order amongst the angels when they interact with humans. So that's your first 3 realm. Your first realm with all 3 in that
Well,
realm.
which ones are here? Those 3 realms?
So, when people ask and that's an interesting question because what does here mean? Does it mean that they're actually amongst us on this plane, amongst humans? Or, so the definition of here, and it's the same question people ask all the time, well, which ones out of the 9 are actually right next to us? What do you mean by that? Do you mean energetically? Do you mean in physical presence? The angels, the first choir, are those that are most closest to the material world and to humanity and kind of walk with us and interact with us, et cetera, et cetera. And they're just referred to as angels. They're not archangels. Archangels take on a different realm and take on different activities. Each one of those 9 angels are assigned different jobs.
Well, who do they work for?
Big guy, big baby, whatever you want to call it. The
These
power that
angels
be.
work for. Like you see in the movies that they're not supposed to have free will, or Angelique, what do you know about that? Do they have free will? Are they really aliens? I mean, what is an angel?
You cut out. Can you repeat that last
Uh, I
sentence? Are
said
they
what?
really alien?
Yeah, like is it what is an angel? Is it an alien? Do they have free will? Like, what's their deal that in what you know about them?
Angels, to me, yes, have free will. I think that we have guardian angels, so we can. As sort of man's best friend, they spend their entire life soul agreement to come in and oversee us. Um, I do think it's like a best friend. They love us unconditionally, and there is it. Sometimes they change throughout a life. So the same guardian angels could be with you from 0 to 10, and then they switch over, and then you have a change of guard, and then you have usually one that will stay with you from birth till death, and a couple of others will come in between, according to what we need to learn and just the agreements that have been made.
So
I feel they're at sorry.
no, no, go on.
No, I feel they are energy beings. They're able to move around through the dimensions. As Sandy said, the ones that are closer to our realm are the ones I feel that are mostly depicted throughout the planet in statues and different things. The miracle happens, somebody captures an angel on camera, or they were helping push somebody out of the way in an accident. So that first choir can interact very much. And obviously, the higher they go, the less their energy can be felt. So we'll call on the archangels to hold space if we're going to do a healing or, cleansing or whatever.
Right.
Or if we just need the aspect, as Sandy said, each one has their own dominion. So one may be fortitude, courage, strength,
Wait. What's a
other,
dominion? Like a attribute?
like, yes, exactly. The main attribute that they hold could be grace, and so different angels, you can call on them, and they have different traits. They also have different directions. So you have sort of like Gabriel, Michael, and so they'll form the north, south, east, west directions. And then sort of the bosses, but you have then your Metatron, which is the one that oversees all the other archangels. And I feel you can feel their presence. They do have that. If you're sensitive, you can pick up that physicality of them. That it's strong. It's a very strong, very palpable energy. But they're all beautiful. I mean, they love us.
Well, are they like human
So
babysitters? Are they here to babysit us, basically? Because it seems like we have an awful lot of them, and it seems like everything they do revolves around us because we need a lot of help or something.
but we have to ask
I
them.
mean, I'll take them,
You know,
eh? I'm gonna use all the help I can get, right? We all can.
Everything they do does revolve around us. So the
We're
seraphim,
so
which is
selfish
the
as
highest,
humans.
so which is and actually they are selfless. But yes, we can be
Yeah,
selfish.
this is
The
funny.
seraphim, which is the highest order of angel, they attend at the throne of God. They carry out God's will. And so the seraphim, when they come in, they're huge. That just one of them, their wingspan is like the size of a building, and they come in and they can appear in all gold, and they literally attend the throne of God, of our Creator, whatever word you want to use, and they sing praise to our Creator. And just beneath them is the cherub, and everybody knows the cherubs, the little cherubs,
right, the
Wait, wait,
little
wait.
and
cherubs.
But
they're
wait,
little
They're
little
beautiful.
cherubs, like little chubby. They really truly do look like that. They're here. They represent the fullness of wisdom of our Creator, and so they hear, for instance, as Angelique is saying, when you want to, call upon gaining wisdom, and you want to call upon, when I mean wisdom of the other side. Call on the cherubs. When you are, there are dominions, there are virtues. The dominions are, in the second grouping of the angels, and they illuminate, the hierarchies of keeping the universe in order. So every one of them has specific duties,
well,
and they're
wisdom's
here to
good.
assist in certain ways.
So
Wisdom's good.
the cherubians are good for wisdom.
Cherubim, yes,
Cherubians, the
cherubim. We call
Yes,
them
cherub,
cherubians.
cherubs.
cherub.
Yeah,
What
for
about for
wisdom.
love? I'm sure a lot of people want to know what's the good angel for love. What realm would
I
that be?
think they all represent
I like
love.
that.
They all have love,
So what is Archangel
Um,
Michael? I call on him a lot. And what's funny is that I have
a protection.
I have the angel deck of cards, and every time I'll just pick a random one out. Almost always it'll be him if I ask,
I
or
mean, the
it'll fall
archangels,
out.
there's each one of them is such a different,
But
again,
what's an
the
archangel?
archangels themselves, just that realm, they all have different capabilities. Ariel, Azrael, Shamiel, Gabriel, Haniel, they all have their own. Haniel and Raphael are healing angels. One is emotional, one is physical.
And they
You
Wh-
have
have
wh-
different
Zadkiel,
colors.
which one's
they
the
have different
emotional one?
colors.
Which one's the emotional one for you?
Angelique,
No, we're all the emotional ones. But which
They're all
angel's the
emotional.
Haniel actually assists us with the emotional.
Haniel?
Aniel,
Haniel,
and then
Haniel.
and then also Gabriel, representing also where it's the water, where emotion. Um, and I think just to touch on this for a second, we're not going to, I guess, not go into it, but the same that we have these hierarchies of angels who practice in the light, in the under God, we
Mm-hmm.
have to understand
There's always another side.
There is the whole other side, and there is a hierarchy that are aligned to the dark and to Lucifer, the fallen angel, and they have their own names.
What's their agenda? Because like if you go back to the biblical texts, apparently we were slaves, and then they weren't supposed to interact with us that much, and then they gave us the gift of knowledge. I mean, if they never fell, where would we be now? Would we be better off? Would we not be? Like, it's like his story is always his story, so you have to wonder which parts are the truth and which parts aren't. Also, like, who's God? Who created him or her? Like, so I just feel like it just goes on, like, for infinity, it just goes on and on and on. Like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you see all the lights flash on? All my lights just flashed on and off. It's insane.
Those are the angels.
I know they are. Okay. I hear. Oh my God, they're so flashing on and off, and I have the chills. Go away, bad ones. Only the good ones. Michael.
So
there were angels that chose to. The reason why we call them fallen, they actually chose, and they wanted to choose to live free from the laws of the Creator. They didn't want to live under the Creator's governing, so they wanted to be free of that. They wanted to have free will, literally. And so they then call them fallen because they chose to literally drop down to the earth plane. There's, according to, different texts, there are 7 fallen angels that we know of, and yes, Lucifer is one of them. And people misunderstand, though, what fallen angel means. That's why it's important that we just offer that explanation.
Yes.
They weren't pushed. They didn't really fall. They made a choice to come down to a different realm.
Correct. And I wonder if that's because we are a planet of duality.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And whether that is applicable to, I mean, we know there are some other planets it's applicable to, but for the rest of the universe, I don't think it's, they don't have the duality issues that we have here. So the fallen is not, there isn't a need.
So if you're an angel, are you always an angel, or could you be a human and then, like, in other words, I totally believe, I know Sandy, you do, and Angelique, I believe you do as well. Like, I believe that I'm definitely part ET, definitely human hybrid. So I could be human and part alien. What are angels? Oh my God! Hello, God! Like, my lights are just flashing. I don't know if you guys could see the lights are literally flashing bright, on and off, on and off, on and off. It's insane. Can angels be aliens? Are they always just angels? You see what I mean?
So remember we talked about a couple of shows ago that there are 5 different types of souls that currently exist on the planet, 5 origins. And we talked about hybrids, and hybrids can be a mixture of several different things, many different things. And so when as a soul ascends and it truly works through its contracts and it ascends in energy, it has the choice when it crosses over to decide whether it wants to come back or not. And an ascended soul, not an ascended master, but an ascended soul, can actually decide, you know what, next time I want to have an experience as, I want to be this, I want to be an animal, I want to be, what do I want to incarnate at? That's one answer to your question. But the other answer is that hybrids can be a mixture inclusive of extraterrestrial and angels.
And an angel.
So yes, very, very much so. And
so just one big happy family.
Certain of the archangels are known to be extraterrestrials. So Melchizedek, E.T. Melchizedek.
Absolutely.
It does make more sense.
E.T.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that does make sense, because anything that's in E.T. technically is something that is not human. Now, do you think that when we come down here, because I've always thought that when I come down here, I don't, like, not all of me is here, not all of my soul or whatever is here. Like, I feel like there's a portion of me, I might think so. I feel like there's a portion of me sitting up and, like, I don't know, at some computer somewhere or wherever, checking in on myself. Maybe I'm an app, and, like, seeing how this part of me is doing. Because, like, would I really risk my whole soul coming down to Earth?
So there are fragments of our soul. We call them fractals, and that's how you can actually, one of the things I teach people, and I think we kind of talked about this last time too, is how you can literally teleport your energy, right?
I've done that,
And
yeah.
pieces of it, pieces of your soul's energy do remain on the other side. And then there's a full integration when you cross, the body dies
Right.
and you cross over and ascend. Then there's a full integration again after you go through the 8 different or 10 different levels. You finally meet with your creator. You sit together and you say, hey, what did I do this time around? What kind of karma do I
See,
have to pay off? And then you say, okay, we're going to go back again. And there's a full integration. Soul completely integrates. And part of what you come back with the next time is called innate soul memory. It's like a computer
Yes.
chip. Everything you need to know, including all of your existences. But yes, part of
Correct.
you always does stay home.
It's
yeah,
like the Akashic record. It's like your blueprint, your soul
right.
blueprint. It's written.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm always not afraid of, but that's what I'm always, yeah, when I go back to whoever and we're discussing my life, I'm like, oh, shucks, I couldn't handle it. I want to be like, no, yeah, I rocked it. Best I could.
And I think also, just to touch on the healing, we can bring parts of those aspects of self if we need them, if we feel that we're sort of displaced, whether it's been through programming or experiments or different things that can catalyze almost like a partitioning of one's consciousness and physicality. We can bring those parts back in. So it's like I'm calling in those parts of me now. So then you can really start to feel whole and also feel comfortable and whole in your body, because we're soul, we're spirit, and we've chosen to be in a physical form. So it's important to stay in the body and experience that, all that is, as much as we possibly can, accessing those pieces that will assist us to sort of journey through in this lifetime in an easier way, hopefully.
So what
And
about, I was just,
that's one of the things.
so sorry, go ahead, no, go ahead, Sandy,
That's
go on.
that's one of the things, as Angelique is saying, a healer, right? That's one of the things that we do. We hold space for the fractals of your soul so that we can hold the space so that they all come back together again and integrate. And in that integration, the person who's needs to, receive the healing also has part in that healing. And their part is they have to work on those particular contracts that created that disassociation, but we hold the space for you to do that. So in essence, we don't heal you. You actually heal yourself. We hold that space energetically for you to do it. And that's what a healer does. What Angelique is saying, integration, soul integration. That's why a lot of people you'll see will say, oh, soul integration healing. That's what that means.
Well, even scientifically, we're made of mostly space. I heard something like if you take away all of our space, we're like this big, like the size of a gnat or something, or
I
like
know a
or
lot
like
of
a
people
fruit
that are made
fly
of
or
a lot
something
of
like that. Yeah,
space.
we're like mostly space, which is kind of crazy. Um, some of us more than others.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
it's
some is a little bit of a waste.
but these dark, so let's talk about the dark angels. How would you know if it was a dark angel? Because I remember a while ago when I when I was like 12 or 13, I'd spoken to one of my mom's friends that was a Native American healer, a shaman, and I was like, well, yeah, but when I'm talking to an angel, I'm like, oh, Archangel Michael, right? Yeah. I'm like, well, of course it is. Like, no, they can lie to you. They can. Like, I didn't. It makes sense now in retrospect, but so how would you? I mean, besides just, I guess, the gut feeling, what would be some other signs of things to be aware of if it was a dark angel around you, and why would they be around you? For what purpose?
I think for the most part, they wouldn't be around you unless you call on that
I ain't
specifically. And it
calling
could be
them.
somebody that's a little misinformed. Like, obviously there's people, they say Michael's negative, but he's, or the, so it would be that. It could be old agreements that you've had and you're comfortable with. And so there will be that sort of visit, sort of, are you still here aligned to this energy? How do you feel it? It doesn't feel warm and fuzzy.
Do you,
It's not
do you think they can
a
like get into
warm,
your head and
loving
your
feeling.
emotions and like make you crazy where like you don't
Well,
even
well, I think like anything, if that, whether it's a conscious thought telepathically, or if you're writing or channeling or just meditation, or you just get that thought, the, for want of, not to sound dualistic, but on the other side, on the positive, on the side of the light, it will be warm, it will be encouraging, it will be, there's always free will. If you're working on the other side, it's more of you have to do this and you must do that, and it's more of a command.
mm,
And so anything that sort of has that energy, it's a sharper energy, but anything that's sort of really intending you to, you know, when you get ordered and commanded, is usually not, if you're practicing on the light and the positive side of things, not something you'd want to close off that conduit,
that connection,
communication,
yeah.
right? Close that connection and then
Well,
start again.
because let's face it, we're trying to bring as many people to the light side as we can. Why wouldn't the
Well,
dark
there's a
side be trying to bring as many to that side as they can?
right. Some of them are recruiting, and I'm going to say it that
Mm-hmm.
way for a
Thank
reason.
you. I knew
So,
some of them were recruiters.
and what I mean by that is this: if there's a very dense soul who's in a very low vibration, your murderers, your rapers, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, horrific things. Their energy is, we're talking duality, very dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
they may be fallen, the
Mm-hmm.
fallen, I'm going to call them recruiters, may be trying to recruit them to keep them low vibration well and trying to bring them to light. It's duality and everything. So that's
Right.
another thing that may go on.
Right. But so what about everybody that's in the gray? Is there like a bit of a tug of war that maybe they have some gray angels, some light angels? Well, okay, remember? You have to remember, like I see the angel and the devil. Remember that's like the thing about that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
think we have
again,
to
like Andrew,
understand one to understand the other in many ways, but not to, you have to make a choice. Where is your allegiance? And some people change. And I think just because maybe you could have experienced a negative, more of a, different path, there is always that room to change. And you can, it's just a choice. And then it's working towards that other end goal, whatever that is. So I don't think we're locked in forever.
Right.
Otherwise, we would, it's free will. But like anything, when it's not mandated, and there's freedom and there's free will of choice, it's like leaving the bird cage door open for the bird to fly away. There's always that trust you will come back. And I think that's the difference between practicing on the light side as opposed to the dark side. We don't do all of these, crazy rituals and things like that. Yes, there are rituals, but, it's more
Like
dancing
Ouija
around the
boards,
maypole.
no, don't use a Ouija board. Don't go and try to
Don't
make
use a
some
Ouija
kind
board.
of yeah.
there is protection though. So the back to the 9 orders
Mm-hmm.
of angels in that second grouping, the dominions, their job specifically is illumination from a higher power, and their job is to govern the universe. So what that means is if one of those darker powers or darker fallen angels is coming in to recruit or to kind of swoop, the dominion's job is let me get in the middle here and let me work.
I like that.
So
So, are there names of them, the dominions, or any specific?
they're called dominions. They're in the second of the
I'd be like,
three
"Yo,
hierarchies.
D, I need some help."
Hey, dominions, come on in.
Exactly.
And that's why it's important for people to know that there are 9 orders, and each one of them has a different job. And if you need help, call them, because that's what they're there for.
Correct.
And it's funny because a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't like to talk about the dark side or the. I think it's important so you know what to recognize, because evil can be very charming. And then before you know it, okay, so did we do all of the realms? I feel like we didn't do. We did protection. We did the cherubims, the archangels, the dominions. The first
You
3
talking
are the
about
ones that are
the
here.
names?
Well,
So
you
the
said the 3
first 3,
realms.
yeah. The first three are the angels, and we talked about that. We talked about the archangels, and it's the principalities. Those are the first three, and we're going in ascending order from bottom to top. That's how we're working with this.
Right.
So the principalities are they're associated with transition in power, so they help literally with transitions of power. Meaning, and what I mean by power, I mean celestial power coming in to work with humans. So, for instance, you're having some difficulty in life, and you're praying and you're asking for assistance. So, if it is that your free will and your choice is to alter the difficulty and to go into the positive side, then one of the things that the principalities do is they assist in that transition of energy for you.
Right.
And that's the first three. So it's angels, archangels, and principalities. That's the first three.
I like that the archangels are one of them because that's who most people know and that's who most people call. So
Yeah.
It's interesting because everybody is very familiar with archangels. Yes, I think because they were so prevalent in biblical texts.
Yeah, of
and
course.
different texts. I should say it that way.
And so cherubims. Am I saying that right? Cherubims?
Then the second three is powers, virtues, and dominions. And the powers govern natural order, like nature. They govern natural order. Virtues are responsible for planets, elements, all that's in the universe, and maintaining order in the universe or universes. And then dominions I just discussed, and we talked about that. So that's your second three. And then your third three are thrones, cherubs, and seraphim. We talked about seraphim, they're on the top. We talked about the cherubs, and then there are thrones. They represent, how would you say it? Literally, you asked about this earlier, the love of God. So they represent, or the Creator, sorry, they represent that same essence of love. So when you're wanting to feel connected to Creator, you want to feel, you want to channel that energy. The thrones, they're your angels. So there's all 9 of them, and they all have very specific positions and responsibilities.
I feel like they give you signs because the way that these lights were flashing on and off before like crazy, like if that's not a sign. Oh, does any?
And so one of the things you asked before is how do you know when there's a fallen angel and the energy, how do you know that as opposed to one of the 9? The difference in the energy is incomparable. It's you when the angels, regardless of which one of the 9 orders are with you, you feel an abundance of love. When you're with the energy of a darker vibration,
you feel like
a fallen angel, you feel like you can't breathe, like you want to die.
It's like the life is being sucked out of the room.
Like when I used to get bad anxiety attacks, that's what I would feel. I don't anymore, but I did a lot of work to overcome that. And I asked for the angels to help me. And they did. But that was, like, the energy I felt before with the lights going on and off was very playful. So I don't think it was one of the more graceful angels. It was more of the one of playful. Yes, I'm here,
Pay attention.
They were pretty obvious. You definitely could not miss that. Do you think, does anybody else have anything else to add that we think people should know about angels?
I think sometimes also when we are growing in our spirituality, for want of another word, there can be times when there are situations, things, people, events, or certain things, usually a person or a thing that will catalyze, that will almost try to keep you in place, keep you locked in place. It's like when you're about to go through a massive growth or aha moment, there can be that element of something's trying to hold.
Who does that?
Well, I would say agreements, but it's like then you can feel your guides and your angels stepping in. It's almost like you get this courage. It's like you feel all of a sudden, it's like, I can do it. And all of this, a lot of the time, is happening subconsciously for people. But and then you almost feel that your angels are stepping in and going toe to toe with this other energy. And it's a really interesting, a lot of people get it in dream state. I think that's why, sometimes the nightmares is that, and then it's sort of this beautiful savior kind of energy that comes in. But it's almost like, no, she's with us or he's with us, hands off.
Right.
And you just feel this. Yeah, it's amazing.
I like that. I like that very much.
The dominions coming in, going, no, that's it. No more nonsense.
Exactly. No holding me back. Don't hold me back. Sandy, do you have anything to add? Any last?
No, I mean, I mean, I think people really, I'm a big fan of the angels because they are here to hold God's love. They are here to serve humanity. And I think, people, when they are not as familiar as they should be with angels, and they're not aware of how many different types there are and how many I mean, just the archangels themselves, there's 15 of them. And everybody's very specific. It's very orderly on the other side. Everybody's got a job. It's like